Hello YouTubers, my name is Eggy and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the Baselard Animation version from Kotobukiya, and on today's video, I'm going to build this. I started the build by cutting out each part from each sprue according to the instruction. After cutting out each part, I cleaned them out with files and sanding blocks. The nut marks and extruding seam lines were filed down and sanded to a smooth finish. Once each part was clean, they were assembled following the instruction. Thanks to a well laid out and clear instruction, the build was easy. The only problem I had were that there were some small parts, which were hard to handle in some situations. The kit uses new parts and old parts. The main body is new, while the backpack is old. This created a stark difference in building experience. The new parts were easy to clean and assemble, all parts fit properly with minimal work needed to fully build them. The old parts, however, was a different story. Some parts didn't align well and lots parts had flash marks and large seam lines that needed a lot of attention. It really showed how far Kotobukiya has gotten past 5 years or so. Despite some of the issues, especially from the old parts, it did not take away the fun experience of building this kit. And this is how the kit looks like built straight out of the box. The new body, which sort of uses Megami Device's body style, is great. It had great proportions and is sculpted well, capturing Baselard's useful and playful nature. The new body also articulates well, creating some intricate poses. However, due to its high heel foot, it is hard to balance on its own and needs some help from the stand. As for her exosuit, it is still the old part, but it integrates well with the new parts and it looks great. The hair still gets in the way though. Before painting this kit, I decided to put some extra effort and clean out some seam lines. Most seam lines were cleaned using Tamiya extra thin cement, welding the two pieces together and sending them to a smooth finish. However, some parts needed some putty to fill in the gap. In this case, I used a Tamiya putty basic type. Once it dried, I sent it to a smooth finish. Some parts, mainly her large guns, didn't align well, so extra filling, filing, and sanding were needed. Before painting, I clean each part with warm soapy water. I start with parts that are to be painted gold. I use gloss black as a primer. Once the gloss black has been cured, I apply gold over it. Next, I painted the skin. For the skin tone, I started with a white primer. Once the white primer has been dried, I painted a dark shade of the skin tone as a base color. Then I applied lighter shade of the skin tone, gradually building shaded skin tone. After painting the skin tone, I painted her legs. She is supposed to be wearing stockings, so to create that look, I started with the white primer and applied the basic skin tone over it. Once the basic skin tone has been dried, I applied thin dyed dark brown over it. On the parts where the skin tone would show, I applied less paint. And on the parts where the skin tone would not show, I applied more of the paint. And then the result is that this beautiful stocking look. For the rest of the parts, I painted them using my usual method. I applied primer first, then I applied dark shade of the color as a base color. Then I applied a lighter shade of the color, creating a nice shaded look. Apply the water slide decal for her eyes. I cut out the decal and soak them in water until decal is moving freely. I wet the parts where the decal will go and transfer the decals over. I use a pick to position the decals, and once it's positioned, I use the cotton swab to press down on it, which absorbs all the water and press the decal onto the surface. Once that is done, I wait for it to dry and seal it with a top coat. I also used powdered pastel to paint her lips and mouth. The pastel was grounded using a hobby knife, and I used a brush to apply it to her lips and mouth. And here is a finished kit. Kotobukiya made another great kit here. The new body was fun to build and it looks great. The old part had some issues, creating stark difference between old versus new, but overall, fun of the build was still there. The kit also poses well. The on-armor Baselard is fantastic. Her X-suit does get in the way and limit some of her movements, but it can still pull some poses. The kit also includes a simple but solid stand, making this kit pose well both as standing or as airborne. It is a bit pricey, but it was fun to build, and the end result was a beautiful looking kit capturing the youthful appearance of a Baselard from the animation. I highly recommend this kit. Thank you for watching this video. I'll put a link down below to my blog, which will have more pictures and more of my thoughts. Please press the like button if you like this video, and don't forget to subscribe.